metallic finish or a luminescent quality is not altogether new. You know, silk ultimately creates that effect. And in the pieces here, we're looking at a rug from Faizy's Saphir collection. It's not silk, it's actually faux silk, but it's power loomed into the rug, creates a high texture and a low texture. So this has the two varying pile lengths. I'm not sure how well it comes through, but it's sort of this deconstructed damask, if you will, or more almost like an ikat pattern. And again, one more element that makes the product, gives the product new dimension, new interest, an enhanced tactile experience. One more reason to say yes. And then also the Aero sofa that you see here, it's covered in a silk. I don't know that it comes through particularly well here on the slides, but it has that really engaging and almost pulsating luminescent look. I like this piece too because it's sort of modular. I see this as a very versatile collection. And we'll talk a little bit about modularity towards the end of the presentation. You heard me say it before, I'll say it again. Metallics work especially well with neutrals. And so we're going to kind of move our conversation into more of the realm of neutrals and what's happening in these engaging neutrals, what you saw me label them at the beginning of the presentations. Neutrals are easy to live with. Neutrals age gracefully. Neutrals are versatile. And as I mentioned before, neutrals are, usually we see a retreat to neutrals in a big way when times are confusing, when the economy is challenging, when we're not really sure of the future, of the direction of things. We're looking for longevity. And neutrals, and you'd be right in thinking that neutrals ultimately satisfy that. The neutrals that we're going to be seeing here at this market, however, and moving forward, seasons forward, they're not necessarily tame. They have a lot of interest. They enhance a space. They do quite a bit for, they do quite a bit to create elegance, to create luxury. Put some metallics into that equation, and you're golden. Pun intended, I guess. This is a piece here that you're seeing from Guy Chaddock and Company. They're represented in the Robert Allen Beacon Hill showroom, which is in Building C. And one of the things that's making neutrals really interesting is this idea of interest in the Belgian aesthetic. And you might have started to hear some of that in the spring. This interest in, and one of the key distinguishing things in this look is that the finishes in the Belgian aesthetic have both gray and brown to them, brown tones to them. I'll show you some examples in a little bit, but this collection in particular speaks to that. Let me read you a little bit more of what's happening in here. Many of today's consumers are in search of this new and more intelligent definition of luxury, one that's keeping with current global realities. Quality ranks at the top of the list, to be sure, but honest design and material integrity are just as important. And a perfect case in point is this riff on the Belgian aesthetic from Guy Chaddock. And it offers a neutral palette, that's where it starts, the absence of jarring colors. Linen is the fabric of choice in this look, by the way, and it answers thereby answering multiple demands for function, durability, and subtlety. The furniture silhouettes have a strong architectural quality that allows each piece to sort of stand on its own or work together in a group. Neutrals are complex. They seem simple, but they're actually quite complex. One of the things that you can sort of expect moving forward is cream-based hues are likely to remain a favorite, with gray, taupe, mocha, and caramel adding richness. And the great thing about neutrals too, just last point, it's easy to bring in color, easy to bring in pattern, easy to bring in ornamentation, and as the look evolves, also easy to take those things out. Very versatile. Here's another sort of take on a very neutral pattern. Moves us a little bit more into the country realm, this idea of sort of a modern country. Not so surprising, you'll start to see some interest in more country looks, more lived-in looks, because we do seek safety, we do seek comfort in these times. This is from Universal Furniture's Paula Deen collection, and they're located in Building B. Take note and notice the turned leg. I think it's quite playful, and I'm going to show you some examples of additional turned wood and how that design choice, how that manufacturing treatment goes to add value to the product. One of the really exciting neutral collections you're going to see here at the show comes from Row Fine Furniture. They've collaborated with Vivian Tam, the apparel fashion designer. I'm sure you've seen some of her work. She's an internationally recognized designer. And she brings that sophistication of fabrics to this upholstery group. And you're seeing 3 pieces here. I've selected the 3 pieces that are shown in neutrals, but here at the market you'll also see some darker values, and you'll also see some fabrics that resonate with more of an Asian look. That being said, on the peony chair, which is the piece on the right, here we have a subdued neutral, but it has, I don't know if it comes through in the projector here, but it has a sort of geometric repeat to it, very soft neutral put on a contemporary frame. At the same time, you have this really gorgeous neutral that has more of that caramel tone I was speaking about on the dahlia chair, and that's the piece on the right. And notice, hopefully it comes through, that tracery effect. The flowers almost seem to be sort of traced on that fabric, and that's something that you'll see a couple examples of later in the presentation, that loose hand, that not so perfect. It's not a precise look. It's sort of forgiving. In many respects, a lot of the products you're seeing, these are forgiving products. They don't expect, they work so well together, and the embellishments work so well together. You don't have to have mastered them from the get-go. You work with them, you evolve with them. The last piece here then is the alder, it's from the alder collection. There's a chair that goes along with it. And a very low profile, but notice that real hefty seat cushion. And then notice too that sort of knocked out feature that's upholstered on the side makes this piece really usable throughout a space for sure. This collection, by the way, is dubbed as a line that sort of appeals to the modern woman. And I think it works. I think it's a success. And I would encourage you to check that out here at the show. Row also has a collection of neutrals called New Elements, I think is what it's called. And it takes this idea of neutrals and it puts them in sort of like a collaging application. So you see 3 or 4 neutrals in comparable colorways put together into this collaged effect. When I say collage, you might be thinking, like your mind immediately might be thinking these like lush jewel tone tapestry fabrics, and this is something very different. It's very serene, it's a very clean look. And by the way, in that collection, the folks at Row have mentioned that they're light blue. Light blue is one of the top performing neutrals in that collage line. Here's some neutrals with a little bit of punch, if I can get this slide to go forward. This is from Nourison, and this is from their Radiant Art collection. I think it has some really mysterious qualities, as well as some rather evident nods to landscapes and textures you might see in perhaps like a desert landscape. The piece in the middle is sort of an onyx finish, sort of reminds me of Shadow, Midnight Mystery. And then you see a more colorful iteration of that with this kind of almost light fragmentation of light, or the bending of light. I'm liking this collection a lot. One of the things you'll also see in the Nourison showroom is their new selections from their Calvin Klein area rug program. And they also speak to this very neutral idea. And you'll see 2 examples of that in the First Look publication. Another idea on the neutral, something a little softer, something a little bit perhaps sweeter, are the new area rugs, new this market from Surya. Surya has a number of new introductions in area rugs, wall decor, lots of good stuff to be looking at there. And wanted to point out some of these in particular because I think, again, that idea that green has its place in a neutral spectrum. And check out that golden hue. I'm really liking that, and I think we're going to see more of that. It's quite versatile. And I don't know that it comes through. Again, you see that luminescent quality here playing out, but you also see this idea of an homage to an organic texture, a subtle reference to some texture or shape or pattern that you'll see out in nature. Meanwhile, the pieces from the Fountain collection, more of a lattice work, more of a gating sort of design motif, very comfortable repeat, versatile collections.